Hi everyone, Paul here again. Now look, this is going to be hard to follow because I'm going to be talking really fast, but I've got a lot of stuff I want to get through today. And the reason I want to get through it is because it's coming up towards the end of the year and you might not have a chance to see another one of these before Christmas. So I'm going to give you a review for the Darjeeling Ltd and then review everything else that we were supposed to review during the year, but we weren't around so we couldn't do it. Basically it's a case of stuff you're going to get people for Christmas that you really like, or the stuff that you're going to get people for Christmas that you really don't like. Last minute DVD, Christmas movie ideas things. So, first up, Darjeeling Ltd. Now, I didn't get a chance to go along to this in the end, so I sent along my special secret reviewer, who was also my secret reviewer for the 48-hour filmmaking competition, so he knows what he's talking about. Now, he says it's not a typical Wes Anderson film, but it's better for that. And he gave it 4 out of 5 stars. He says it's really good, he's just not sure why, which is where it loses the star. He says, though, it's the sort of thing that he's going to go back and watch again to try and work out why he does enjoy it. So there you have it, folks. Darjeeling Ltd. 4 out of 5 stars. Alright, next up I'm going to go into a whole list of things. It's called The Good, The Bad and The Ugly. Now let's start off with The Ugly. Now the Ugly is films that sort of started off well and then didn't quite do so well in the end, and I don't want to give it a bad rating, but it doesn't really deserve a good one. First one has got to be Tenacious D, Pick of Destiny. This is one of 2 films over the last year that got delayed and pissed so many people off for that delay. It starts off really well, and the team of Tenacious D is bloody brilliant in the whole thing, and the songs are great. It just has a really weak ending. It just doesn't feel right. So that film, no, it's okay. It's a sort of solid 3 out of 5 stars. Second one is the Simpsons movie, which I really enjoyed part of. It had a good message and it was really nicely done, and it was great to see them kick it up a notch for the animation. But it just didn't quite deliver everything that a Simpsons movie could promise. So that one there again is another solid 3 out of 5 stars. Last one has got to be Ratatouille. Now I still haven't seen Ratatouille, so I'm not going to give the film a rating, but what I will tell you is this. Every Pixar movie so far has had an awesome trailer. Awesome. Even if it's something like The Incredibles where it was just made for the trailer of the guy getting into his suit and he's too fat. Well, I can relate to that, and I thought it was absolutely brilliant. Ratatouille was the only Pixar film I've seen that didn't give me a trailer that made me want to watch the movie. Which is kind of disappointing, guys. Very disappointing. I mean, even WALL-E is better. I love WALL-E. He's so cute. Alright, now let's go into the bad. The bad list is actually probably the longest, and it's got to have the titles that you recognise the most. Harry Potter. Okay, the whining, they took it out of the movie, which is the main base of the book, and it turns out that it sucks because of it. Shrek 3, they've gone too big. The first couple of Shrek films were nice and subtle, and Shrek 1 was small, Shrek 2 is slightly bigger, Shrek 3 is far too big, and it doesn't work for that reason. Spider-Man 3, better known as Spider-Man the Musical, people. It has dance sequences and duet. Arthur and the Invisibles has got to be the most god-awful child's film I have ever seen. And I have children. I'm made to watch some awful movies. So please avoid that one like the plague and don't let him make the sequels. Pirates 3, they had so much potential and they lost it. They really did just lose it. I don't know what they did, but they screwed it over. Same thing with Fantastic Four. You've got the Silver Surfer, but again, this is another one of those movies where the trailer is better than the film, and the Surfer is really the only thing you want to go for, and you can just ignore the Fantastic Four themselves. And as for Galactus, he's a giant cloud. Ooh. Meet the Robinsons. Now, Disney used to be brilliant. Disney used to be absolutely great, and now they suck. And to be perfectly honest, Meet the Robinsons is proof of this. And the worst thing about Meet the Robinsons is I was sitting there going, John Lasseter thought it was worse. And Lasseter knows films. So I really would hate to see what the original version was, because it would just be shockingly awful and painful and make kids cry. And you don't want that. Last 2 films I've got on my bad list. One is obviously bad, which is Norbit. I mean, come on, how much Eddie Murphy can you have in one film? He played a little old Asian man, for the love of God. It's getting sick and twisted, and he shouldn't be paid to make movies like that, because he's just not funny. Second to last, yeah, you know what I mean. Last film, Transformers. I hated it. You know, I preferred The Island to Transformers because at least The Island didn't have the pretense of having a story arc and characters to follow. Whereas Transformers told you that, Michael Bay and Steven Spielberg, so there's going to be a story. And there wasn't. There really wasn't. It was Transformers fighting each other, which I certainly don't mind, but you don't cut off main pieces of action like Optimus Prime and Megatron fighting down the main street while you're sitting there looking at people in slow motion through the dust. It doesn't work. Michael Bay really should be stopped from making movies. Now let's end off this bit on a high note. The good. There were some good things this year. Heroes, brilliant TV series, absolutely brilliant. Series 1 was fantastic. Series 2 could be a little bit better, but they are both really very good. The new Doctor Who. I'm loving the new Doctor Who. I must admit, Doctor Who will always get 5 out of 5 for me, but there were some great stories in this last one, especially the episode Blink, which is the Dr. Light episode, where about statues that only move when you don't see them, so when you blink, they're moving. Creepy as hell. Brilliant, brilliant episode. Hot Fuzz has got to be the best comedy of 2007. Absolutely fantastic. You can't do any wrong when you've got the 3 people working together, Wright, Pegg and Frost. The Illusionist, now a lot of people sat down and go, oh, it's a bit like The Prestige, but it wasn't. It surprised me in just how different it actually was. It has a very different feel to it, a different tone, a different pacing. So I suggest that if you haven't seen it yet, make the time to go and watch this one, because, well, it stars Ed Norton and Paul Giamatti, and they are brilliant anyway. Pan's Labyrinth. Now, a lot of people had Pan's Labyrinth in 2006, but it's one of those films that got delayed and delayed and delayed down here at the arse of the world, so it's really an '07 release for us. And again, I would have to say that this is right up there, one of my top 2 films of the year. If I could give 6 stars, I would give 6 stars for this film. And finally, Idiocracy. Now, a lot of people didn't see Idiocracy. It was held away for years and years. They didn't show it. Very simple concept. Guy gets frozen, ends up in the future as the smartest man in the world because we're constantly dumbing down society. Hear that? You are getting dumber. Dumber means that people are not as smart. See what I mean? I have to talk down to people because some people aren't going to get it and they don't understand me really, really fast talking. So there you have it. Films you really should get people for Christmas this year include Hot Fuzz, Pan's Labyrinth, The Illusionist, and Idiocracy. TV series has got to be Heroes and Doctor Who. Things to avoid completely have got to be pretty much all the big blockbusters from last year, because let's face it folks, they just didn't work. Alright, now, things to look forward to. Keep this one very simple and quick. Blade Runner The Ultimate Collection. 5 versions of the movie, so you can finally answer that question to your own satisfaction as to whether or not Deckard is a replicant. There are 7 versions of the film altogether, but they're not putting 2 of them on because they see no point in them, which is fair enough. These include the final cut, which is the actual director's cut, because the director's cut was actually an editor's cut or a producer's cut or something like that. So what you'll find is that if you want to look at it from Ridley Scott's point of view where Deckard is a replicant, you can. If you want to look at it from the point of view of Harrison Ford where Deckard might be a replicant but probably isn't, you can as well. This is why this is going to be the must-have gift from early next year. Other thing that's really looking forward to next year has got to be a few of the big movies that are coming out. But what I'll do is I'll deal with that next week when we look forward. We'll spend more time looking forward next week than looking back. However, in terms of reviews, I'm actually going to sit down and review Red vs. Blue Season 2, which came in yesterday. So everybody can have at least some idea of what's going on with that. Anyway, folks, time to go. I think I've used up all my voice and all my time. Sorry if it's a little bit rushed. Feel free to go back and slow it down a little bit, or maybe send us money for a transcript and we'll see what we can do. Alright guys, thanks a lot. See you later.